G'day mates, Paul.K.Dragon here. Who remembers the PlayStation 1? A console that has many great games with awesome full motion video cutscenes, and that intro you hear that gives you chills once you boot up the console. You can just feel the nostalgia already. I remember playing a lot of awesome games on that console, and I can list 10 of them. You guys voted for it on Twitter. It's time to look at my top 10 PlayStation 1 games. But keep in mind, this is my own list. What I say is my own opinion. Please understand that. Without further ado, let's get started. Croc, Legend of the Gobos. I remember playing this game years ago. Croc, the Legend of the Gobos is a 3D platformer that is created by Argonaut Games, where you rescue cute little creatures called Gobos, collect gems that protect Croc, similar to the rings from the Sonic games, and ring the gong on the end of the stage. The game had great music and cute atmosphere, and it was the best seller for its time. The reason it's number 10 is cause controlling Croc in a 3D platformer is like controlling a tank, and it will take time to get used to. It spawned a sequel a year later with better controls, awesome music, that includes the beautiful hang glider section, but I will not forget the charm Croc 1 delivered, and I will never forget it. Too bad Croc 3 got cancelled and Argonaut Software is out of business. I would love to see a Croc 3. Jackie Chan, Stunt Master. When it comes to celebrities, my favorite is always Jackie Chan. I used to watch Rumble in the Bronx over and over again, and it never gets old. The stunts, the martial arts he does, it was great. So imagine my surprise when there's a game based off him. Jackie Chan Stunt Master is a beat-em up where you guide Jackie Chan to the ends of the stage, fighting numerous bad guys with awesome combos and weapons like a swordfish or a frying pan, and collect tiger icons for 100% completion for each stage. This game is great. If you're a fan of Jackie Chan, it feels like you're part of the Jackie Chan film yourself. Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX. I used to rent this a lot back in my video renting store years ago. It was similar to Tony Hawk Pro Skateboarding, and I loved it. The airtime you can get, the tricks you can pull off, and the soundtrack backing up is awesome. I love playing the progress and unlocking more riders, clothes, bikes, and new motors depending on the rider you're playing as. Especially when you unlock Big Crashes mode, where if you crash, you just bounce around like a ragdoll. That's just hilarious. That's what sold me. The hilarious ragdoll crashes. You can even do that even on the first level with the train. Ugh. That guy really needs to see a doctor. Front Mission 3. Oh baby, this game was rare where I live. And for those people that are into robot battles like in the anime Gundam, you're in for a treat with this title. Front Mission 3 is a tactics game where you and your pilots that operate robots called Wanzers fight enemy Wanzers. Now, what makes this game different from its Final Fantasy Tactics counterpart is that Wanz's has HP for every part of their body. If the body reaches 0 HP, the unit is destroyed. If the arms reach 0, you cannot use that weapon that was equipped on that arm. If the legs reach 0 HP, you can only move one space at a time. But you can also damage enemy Wanzus and do the same thing to your opponents, which is so cool. Just destroying parts of the enemy Wanzu is always satisfying to watch, especially with your pilots that can use skills that can let you do multiple actions in one turn. Now that's sweet! Now, if only Square Enix can localize and release Front Mission 2 to the US and Europe, as well as release Front Mission 4 and 5 to Australia and Europe. Spyro the Dragon. Spyro the Dragon. I remember you completing you to 100%. With the countless jewels you have to collect, it was worth it. And the adventure was great too, with worlds you get to explore, and you have to explore the worlds for every nook and cranny for the missing jewels you've missed, rescuing dragons as part of the main storyline, with that rocking soundtrack that suits the atmosphere of the game. I love this game. It has charm and it was very mystical. I haven't played Spyro 2 or 3 yet, which I don't mind. I actually prefer Spyro 1 over those two games. I hope we get to see a remake of Spyro Trilogy soon, maybe in 2018. I also remember playing the demo of Spyro 1 on another game. Speaking of which... Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped! Yup, it was this game I got to play the Spyro demo on. Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped was the first Crash Bandicoot game I played. I didn't play Crash 1 or 2, but I had a fun time with Crash Bandicoot 3, with the worlds and the fun stages you can go on. What I like about Crash Bandicoot 3 is the improvements over the first two games. The 3D stick movement was way better than using the D-pad for those precise jumps that were a pain, and the ability to see how many boxes you have broken, which makes keeping track of your progress much easier. And lastly, getting new abilities from the bosses you defeated. I'd loved using the triple spin ability. Makes previous stages you have troubled with look like a complete joke. I had a blast with this game, and now you can enjoy it as well with the new Insane Trilogy on the PS4, with the improvements from this game onto all three games. Metal Gear Solid. Many years ago, before Konami became the assholes we now know and hate, I remember seeing this in an arcade. Yes, you heard me right, in an arcade. Why? Because the boss running the arcade at the time brought his PlayStation 1 to work just in case no customers came through the door. Except me. That's how I noticed Metal Gear Solid. He let me try out a few VR missions, and I loved it. It made me want to hire the game and play through the game in full. And I loved the music, the characters, the story, the atmosphere, the codec conversations. Heck, I was blown away that you have to look on the back of the actual CD case of the game just to advance the plot? That's nuts! This is a game I would love to revisit over and over again. This game is a classic. Now, if only Konami would actually care about its customers and the video games we love, rather than toying with us with pachinko machines. Tekken 2. When it comes to this game, I remember 3 things. 1. This game's awesome arcade soundtrack, as well as its arranged version. 2. Cheaping the game with martial arts' backflip over and over. 3. Heihachi's horrifying face in the alternate intro that gave me nightmares for weeks. Ugh. And U4 Five Nights at Freddy's series was scary, and this horrifying intro is on a fighting game. Still, Tekken 2 is a fun fighting game, with plenty of characters for you to fight with and to unlock. I remember spending hours on this game, mastering loads of characters, learning their moves, and testing them out in arcade mode. You can play this game on the PlayStation Network, but if you're lucky and have Tekken 5 for the PlayStation 2, the arcade version of Tekken 2 is on there as well. Be sure you give the game a chance if you have Tekken 5 for the PlayStation 2. Final Fantasy VII. What? Final Fantasy VII is only number 2, I hear you saying in the comments? Well, let me explain. This is the very first RPG I've ever played. Yep, it all started with Final Fantasy VII. I loved the characters, the story, the awesome soundtrack that suited the atmosphere really well, and the game's mechanics, along with the materia system, along with an amazing adventure. It's great. I lost count of how many times I've seen the bombing run intro over and over. It never gets old. Plus, with the remake that might be coming out in 2018, 2019, hopefully, I would love to see how the bombing run plays out in the remake. But the reason why Final Fantasy VII is number 2 is that years ago, the only chance I've ever got to play this rare gem is only on Disc 1. Not Disc 2, not Disc 3. Plus, there's a game I love more than Final Fantasy VII. But don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy VII is a fantastic and it's remarkable for its time. I just wish I get to experience Disc 2 and Disc 3 when I was a kid. Digimon World 1. Here is a question for everyone. Who remembers these? Yep, Digimon Tamagotchis. I remember growing up with one of these back in primary school. These were everywhere, and they were battling each other left and right. It was great, so I grew up with them, and to further my love with them, I grabbed Digimon World 1 for the PlayStation 1. And this game, wow! Like the Tamagotchi versions, you can raise and take care of your own Digimon, from baby to in training to rookie, champion, and ultimate. It's really heartwarming to see your little monster that you raised into a monster that can help you complete the game. When I first played Digimon World 1, I had no idea what I was doing. I was training, fighting most of the time, and then my rookie turned into a champion, and that champion turned out to be Numemon every single time. That was frustrating. But upon reaching the right parameters in training, you'll need a guide for that, trust me, you will get the monster you want, and it just shows that hard work pays off in spades. Your goal in Digimon World is to not only raise your Digimon into a killing machine, but also recruit other Digimon to improve the main city that you start off in. Improving that amount of food you get per day, to getting an item shop, to getting a cleric, to a tournament center, and so on. And once you gather enough Digimon in the city, it's time to destroy the major threat of Digimon World, Machine Dramon. I had a blast playing this game, spending hours on it to see what other Digimon I could raise within each life cycle, It really reminds me of the joys I had with the Digimon Tamagotchis back in the day. I wish I could experience that again. If you have a PlayStation 1, grab this title. You will not forget it. And that's it. Thank you everyone for voting for this on Twitter, and thank you all for subscribing to my channel. If I reach 2,000 subscribers, I will do another top 10, but this time it will be on the Super Nintendo games. I hope your favorite PlayStation 1 game is on the list. If not, well, you can make your own PlayStation 1 list in response to this one if you like. My name is Paul.K.Dragon, and I thank you for watching.